Okay, I test drove that '07 Honda Pilot.
After 80 yards, turn right.
The engine is in pretty good shape. You got a couple of minor leaks in the power steering, but not enough to where you have to deal with it. Just little wet spots in the line, stuff they didn't quite get when they were pressure washing the inside of it. But I watched it; it wasn't really beating up or anything, so, and none of that would be terribly expensive. The engine didn't sound bad.
Right.
Minor ticking from one of the lifters in there, but it was sporadic, so it's not bad. That engine can go like that for decades. Transmission, really good. Shifted up and down smooth. At the stall test, forward and reverse, it did great. Take it for a test drive. And the suspension is a bit soft.
After 400 yards,
And from what I'm
left,
hearing and what I was feeling,
right.
the front passenger side strut seems weak. Starting to make a bit of chatter when you turn hard. There's a little bit of looseness to it, and you can feel it in the vehicle performance. But again, that's not an expensive fix. One strut in that thing is like, what, $150? When it gets to the point of being an annoyance. Other than that, she's in pretty good shape. There's not a great deal of rust on it or in it or underneath it. All that looked pretty good. The front cross member either got cleaned up really well, or it's been replaced. Like it might have been in a bit of a wreck, but if it was up high, so it didn't damage any frame. I examined the forward frame, the cradle, engine cradle, and all that, looked it over, and all that looks standard. Nobody's fucked with that, so I don't believe it's got any issues like that going on. She held true going down the road. No noticeable slack in the steering. Air conditioner was working pretty good. So. And the third row seating did pop up. And the inside doesn't look bad. I don't think the vehicle's been abused. From the look of the inside, whoever used it before didn't use the back seat very often and didn't use the third row seating at all. That lays down to give you like a little cargo platform. No evidence of any serious wear and tear. Overall, seems to be a good vehicle. If you were one of my kids, I'd put an okay stamp on it. Like, yeah, if you want it, The price doesn't seem too bad. And nothing stands out as a real issue. So you can probably depend on the thing for a couple of years before anything serious happens. A little bit of rust on the rotor, so it did set for a while somewhere. But not bad. All right.